All right, guys. So you got your scan. Cover our rules here. You joined a team. You got your scan. We're gonna do our baseline workout here in a little bit. Has everybody downloaded the app to track your points with? Got a yes from everybody? You will only have 2 days to enter these points. If you forget 4 days later, I'm sorry. Okay? We don't get to go back and add them. So don't forget, teammates keep each other accountable to adding your points, okay? The winners of this challenge get determined by more than just points, okay? So nobody freak out if you miss a point for the day, because it's going to be points plus your body recomposition based on your Fit 3D scans, okay? There's more than just a winning team. There will be some individual prizes as well. I do not know exactly what those are going to be and what those are going to be for, what the points are yet. So we'll cover all that later. The app only accounts for the individual leaderboard. Every week I will gather up, that's one of the reasons why it's so important to get your points in on time. Every week I'm going to go out and I'm going to tally your team points, and on the Facebook page I will post a team standing. Okay, so you'll know individually where you're at, and you'll know team-wise where you guys are at. Okay, ask your questions on the Nutrition Facebook page.
Shelley.
Very, very important. If you send me a text message, I'm not answering you, or I'm gonna respond. Ask your question on the Facebook page. The reason why I ask you to do this is because if you are wondering about something, or if you have a question about something, there's a really good chance that somebody else has the same question, and it might be somebody else that's just simply afraid to ask it. The Facebook page is a combo group. It includes the Huntsville folks as well. So you get the collective minds of 2 gyms, not just one. So throw them out there on the Facebook page, ask whatever you want to ask. How to earn points. Each individual earns their own points. So you will enter your own points on the app, not your team points. So each one of your team members needs to enter their points. Be active for 30 minutes every day, 7 days a week. That earns you a point. That does not mean that you have to be active doing a CrossFit workout to earn your points. That means you simply have to have 30 minutes of activity. If you need to walk around the neighborhood, walk your dog, play with your kids, get your 30 minutes in every day. I would like to, there are some of us in this group that are runners, bikers. Matt's a part of this group. He's not here, he had to work today. He's gonna try and get over to the Huntsville to do his thing. But he is, he likes to do some running, and I encouraged him to invite you guys along on their weekend get-togethers when he runs on the weekends and stuff. And so we'll try and do some of that stuff too. If I'm biking on the weekends, I'll put it out there. I have extra bicycles. So we'll try and do some of that to stay active on the weekends as well. 1 point for 7+ hours of sleep a night. Naps are included. So if you get 6.5 hours worth of sleep at night and you get 30 minutes during the day, then you've reached your 7 hours. I would encourage you to try your best to get your 7 hours at night without the naps. Your body needs that rest to recover and to prepare yourself for the next day, and you're gonna function better, you're gonna work out better if you get your sleep. I've been going to sleep extra early this week. It's worked out really well for me. I've been bypassing sitting down. I eat my food standing up. I don't ever sit down after I get home from here at night, and then I go on and go to bed. And this week's worked out really great for me. So upload progress pictures each week. I would encourage you to go home tonight and upload your first ones right now. Front, back, side. Take your photos in the same place, with the same lighting, in the same clothing. So, and that way you can, sometimes at the end of this, you will have body recomposition and you won't see it on the scale. but you will see it in photos where you don't see it anywhere else. So upload those. So
Tracy, how are we calculating, how is that figured into this scoring or is it?
it's 1 point per week for uploading photos.
Does anybody see those? I can't remember how that works.
No, nobody will see those. I think as an admin that, that April and I may be the only people that can see those.
Okay, so no nudes then on here.
Yeah, please don't do nudes. I actually put some clothes on, yes. And you may get asked at the end of the challenge if your photos can be used. Number one, they will be used without your permission. And number two, you may very well get asked. You may not win this challenge, but they want to use your photos for promotional purposes. Think about that with the clothing that you wear to take your progress photos in. I'm not telling you to take them in blue jeans and a t-shirt, but think about that, okay? Water, 1 point possible per day, 40 ounces of body weight in water each day. If you're 200 pounds, that's 80 ounces. Divide that by the average 16.9 ounce bottle of water, that's only 5. I drink a gallon of water every day, which is about 7 bottles, close to 8. You're not gonna drown using this little rule right here. So, alcohol, 1 point possible per day. There's no alcohol on this plan Sunday through Thursday. Somebody asked me earlier if they could swap their Friday and Saturday alcohol point to another day during the week. I love y'all. No. Sorry. No swapping. It gets too easy to forget what we've done. We swap it, we use our alcohol point on Wednesday night, we get to Friday, we're like, whoo, that's my alcohol point. No, sorry. Don't ask me if your big ass glass of margarita qualifies. It does not. No. No. 1 shot of liquor, 1 average bottle of beer, 1 average glass of wine. Do not justify your wine by the size of your glass. That's not gonna work with me either. Be honest with yourself, people. Team challenges, 1 possible point per week. You'll see your first challenge come out sometime today or tomorrow. These will be fun. We have participating people in this challenge. They're not members of either gym. So I want these challenges to be fun, not 30-minute workout challenges. So I'll get a little devious and I'll post your first one in just a little bit. So.
And they're open available. We don't have to do them together, right?
No, I want you to do them together.
We'll see. I'm going to be in Australia for 2 weeks. So April said the challenges we could do.
Well, Carrie might be the exception to my rule, okay? I can't stop her from going to Australia. Encourage your team to get creative.
Go to Australia.
Maybe they carry around.
So we can like Facebook each other or FaceTime.
Maybe they carry around a photo of Carrie, and photo Carrie participates in the challenge with your other 2 people. Okay, so you're maybe doing the challenge on your own. Get creative with that rule, okay? As long as you're involved with your team in this challenge, then that's fine. Don't just use your Australia as an excuse to just, you see what I'm saying?
Stupid Australian excuse.
Simmer down,
You can
Scott.
have your avatar 3D printed and give it to your team.
Let's dress it then.
Yes.
Put a little sports bra on it and stuff.
Yes. Eat a balanced plate. There are 2 possible points per day for eating a balanced plate. The other point comes from balancing your plate using whole foods. I'm going to give you a handout because we're going to cover this. Scott, you want to hand these out? And we'll talk in a little bit about what happens when you cannot balance this plate with whole foods. When you're in a situation where you're eating somewhere where completely balancing with whole foods is not possible. The foods listed in this handout are not all inclusive, so they give you some recommendations on there, but those are not all inclusive. So, some goals for this challenge. Aim for good enough, not perfect. If you are seeking to be perfect, then you are setting yourself up to fail. Let's not freak out when we don't get every possible point every day, and let's not use that as an excuse to say screw it, okay? Let go of your food rules. Food rules tell us how much we can eat, when we can eat, and we've all got our own weirdo rules set up in our head. I can't eat pizza because it hates me. I love it. It's a vice. I can't eat pizza because it hates me. It really does hate me, y'all. So you have to figure out a way to work yourself around that, because that setting up those food rules is where you earn that whole screw it. I can't eat pizza because it hates me, so I just avoid it. And then I get caught up in a situation where there's a work situation, there are 12 pizzas laying out there, and then all of a sudden I'm on a binge. So let go of those food rules and figure out how to get in those items that you love. I was telling the other group earlier, Lawson wanted pizza. They always want pizza. So I ate my dinner last night on the way home. I ate a protein and a veggie in my car on the way home because I knew yesterday that I was gonna stop and get pizza. And I had pizza before I went to bed. I had a piece of pizza. But I didn't binge because I was already full. Because I'd already had my protein, which is the most important thing as a strength athlete for me, because I'd already had that. So figure out how to work those situations out and quit setting up those ridiculous food rules, okay? Give up on your cheat days. This is, for me, specifically addressing the weekends. I can be really, really good all week. I work all week. I'm super distracted all week. And the weekend rolls around, and if I don't have some form of entertainment, then I'm just gonna eat whatever's in the house. So I really started trying not to keep it in the house, but when you have a 14-year-old child and a dozen other kids running in and out, it gets a little difficult. So you can ruin a beautiful week in one day. You can really offset that beautiful calorie deficit or whatever you put yourself in for the week with one day on the weekend. So stop those cheat days. They don't do anything for you. Figure out how to structure your days during the week so you're getting what you need, that you don't have to have that cheat day, okay? And own those choices. Really, 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 really own your choices. Make your food decisions by acknowledging the outcome of your situation, okay? I know the pizza's gonna kill me, but I'm gonna eat it anyway. If you're gonna make that choice, you gotta own that choice. Though sometimes those choices do not set us up for the goals we've set for ourselves, and you need to ask yourself, is this food really gonna get me where I need to go? And have a conversation with yourself about it. Own them. Stop rationalizing. Stop telling yourself, I ate this way because I was traveling, I didn't have any other choice. I was hanging out socially with my friends, they were all eating pizza and beer. I didn't have any other choice. I'm bored, I'm busy, I'm gonna eat this way. Stop rationalizing those decisions, okay? We're gonna cover your, let's see. We're gonna cover this portion control guide. Let's see where I'm at. Scott's cold there.
Oh, did you turn it down or something?
No, I didn't touch it. So, your hand is built for your body, so it's sized for you. Your protein serving is your palm, your fat serving is your thumb, carb is a cup hand, and veggie is a fist. So that one serving of each, or if you're a guy, there are some different serving sizes listed on here, but it's 2. Then that is balancing your plate. Okay, like I said, there were some suggested foods on here. That list is not all inclusive. Protein is your meat, your fish, your eggs, cottage cheese. Men are recommended 2 palm size, women 1. Veggies, broccoli, spinach, carrots, etc. 1 to 2 men versus women there. Carbs are your grains, your starches, your beans, and your fruit. And fats are your oils, butters, nut butters, things of that nature. The carbs, let's talk about the carbs. There's a list on this board of carbs. You will see some things on here that are considered veggies, and they're fruits. They're carbs. For this point and purpose, they're carbs. They're extremely high in carbohydrates, and they're considered carbs on this. You'll also see corn and air pop popcorn on here. Corn does not contain a whole lot of nutritional value. I would encourage you not to use that for your carb. The reason the air pop popcorn made it to this list is because some of you need a snack, and at some point, if you need a little snack, this is a volume food. When you pop the corn, you can get in some volume food this way. So,
But that still has to follow the cup size or whatever, the palm size rule done.
it needs to, yes.
That doesn't need to be the whole entire.
It does not need to be the whole entire bag, but think about it this way. When you think about popcorn, you have to think about what it looks like in its cooked form, in its kernel form, and if you're cupping it, then I would say a half of this of uncooked kernels and dump it in an air pop, and what you get, you're gonna get more than this out of that, but you have to think about its pre-form instead of its post-cooking form, okay? So be smart with it. Men, it recommends you eat 3 to 4 meals. Well, it doesn't recommend. If you eat 3 to 4 meals, that's around 2,300 to 3,000 calories a day. And women, if you eat 3 to 4 meals as outlined, you get around 12 to 1,500 calories a day. So active men and active women, it gives some serving suggestions on here for those. And if you need more food or if you need less food, it gives you some direction on how to do that as well. So if you find yourself, if you're used to not eating and you start with 3 plates a day and you find that on 3 plates a day you're starving, then it gives you some direction to start by adding. You might want to start by adding a 4th plate, or you might want to start by adding some extra things at your meals, following the instructions that are on here, okay? If you're too full off 3 plates, then I would encourage you to write down what you're eating, and let's come have a conversation with me about actually what you're eating, and let's figure out if we can change the volume of some of the foods that you're eating so you get those nutrients in there every day, because you need those plates. You don't need to go below these guidelines. So anybody have any questions about this method of tracking? Pretty straightforward. Okay. Instapots, air fryers, if you have them, they're great tools to use for this stuff. Instapots are great for making things in bulk like chicken. Air fryers are great, especially if you have kids and they want to throw their own. We pre-pack turkey burgers and things at my house, and that way they can just go throw them in the air fryer, turn the little thing on, and not to worry about turning the big oven and stuff on. So those are really good tools for this. If you don't cook, and I don't cook, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I have way too much going on to cook. You still don't have an excuse. We have so many meal services in this area. We have service in Decatur, service in Hartselle, multiple services in Huntsville that will cover you, and all that food is good, clean food. I order food from a group called Fit Select out of Guntersville. My foods come from the Nutrtition place in Hartselle. I get 6 ounces of cooked meat on a plate, plus a veggie and a carb, or double carbs, or however I want to set myself up for the week. That food stays frozen very well. April has eaten from food service out of Absolute Nutrition. She's enjoying their food. So if you don't cook, that's not an excuse. So try that. And let's had a conversation with the previous group about what to do when you get yourself caught up in a situation that you can't control. And this is back to we can't be perfect, so let's do the best that we can do. So who eats at Chick-fil-A? Anybody eat Chick-fil-A? What do you eat at Chick-fil-A? Everything. Give me your favorite.
It's breakfast. Breakfast is my Achilles heel.
Okay, what do you?
Chicken. Either the number one combo, which is chicken biscuit hash browns, or 2 chicken biscuits.
Okay.
Now they have a better choice that I used to get. That's
Okay,
the,
so
egg
that's what we're talking about. You're in Chick-fil-A and you're at the counter and you're gonna order, and you typically order a chicken biscuit and hash browns. Okay? The chicken biscuit and hash browns don't fit your goals, and you know that they don't. So what are you gonna do? Make a better choice. And there's always a better choice. So on the breakfast menu, the egg white grill is a much better choice. They make bowls that are much better choices. Swap some of that stuff out.
What is a better choice from a
Health perspective, not taste perspective.
I would argue with you because I think that an egg white grill tastes 1,000 times better than a chicken biscuit every day. And that egg white grill is going to better set you up for your goals than that chicken biscuit is.
And it's still not a fantastic choice because of the bread, but it's much better.
If that is the only choice available to you, if you're driving down the interstate and you're starving and you're headed for your destination, and at the exit, the only exit within 100 miles, there's a Jack's, McDonald's, and Chick-fil-A. There's your first choice. What's your first choice on that thing? The best choice is the Chick-fil-A. It just is. And then when you get inside the Chick-fil-A, then you have to make your best decision inside the Chick-fil-A. And that's where you want to make the best decision that best lines up with your goals. And you can have a really crappy day and really try and justify that really crappy meal at the end of the day. And you can go to bed with a double crappy day because you're gonna feel bad too. Or you can make a better choice and at least go to bed with that better choice. Anybody else? Where do you eat for family dinner? Tommy?
Usually O'Charlie's, Mexican.
Okay.
Rosie's last night to get it in for.
Max, what are you eating at the Mexican place, Amy?
Fajitas.
What else?
Fajita nachos.
What else?
And a big bowl of cheese dip and a bunch of chips.
All right. So let's talk about that. So,
Don't take away my cheese.
okay. Is there a better choice?
Well, sure.
Salsa.
Almost anything else.
I get the salsa too, because I have to break my chip and do one of your cheese and
Did
one of the salsas.
the cheese dip get you to where you need to go? Does it line up with your goals?
No.
Are your goals more important or is the cheese dip more important? That's a big question that some of you need to start asking yourselves. Because some of you have made food more important than your goals. And that's just wrong.
What about guacamole? How do you feel about guacamole?
What's in the guacamole? Is it just guacamole? Is it just a mashed up avocado? And then if it's just a mashed up avocado, is it a whole food?
Yes.
Does it meet your fat?
So,
It does. It does, and it's a good choice. In moderation. In moderation. So you can swap your cheese dip for salsa. We can't swap those chips out, y'all. We can't. But you can pull 10 out of the container and put them on your plate. And you can put the rest of the basket at the other end of the table. Okay? So Amy's eating fajitas. We're not eating fajita nachos. Okay? Fajitas are a great choice. Hold on,
As if
Jack.
the avatar didn't shape in.
Fajitas are a great choice, but fajitas come with heated tortillas. If you can't skip them, then use one. Use one and put the rest of them somewhere else or send them back. and double up what you put on that. Put extra meat, put extra veggies, and eat that stuff, okay? There are always better choices. So, Jackie, you had a question?
Not a question, just a statement. If you're talking about Las Villas on 6th Avenue, or maybe also here, there's a fit area on the menu where you can get grilled fish and vegetables. I know, but it's actually really good.
Which better lines up with your goals.
Yeah, I never looked like that.
There is an area, it's got grilled.
Tracy, correct me if you disagree here, but she's not saying, hey, go to Mexican food.
Right,
She's just saying, if you screw up and go,
Make the choice.
Well,
there's probably some better choices.
Well, we're fixing to
okay.
get into ball season, so
Well,
we're on the road.
in the 6 weeks, you have so-and-so's birthday party.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nobody wants to not go.
Right.
Look, I had 2 birthdays on top of Christmas, my 50th and my son's 21st, on the 30th and the 31st, after all that food, and I done about had it. We go to a steak place, steak, baked potato, control the butter, eat it, pick a veggie. I don't tolerate many veggies, pick a veggie, green beans, I can do green beans. So there are better choices on that menu. There are always better choices. Does anybody else have a favorite place they like to eat? Because what we're really talking about here is I want you to go hard for 6 weeks. I want you to go whole food for 6 weeks. I want you to do your damnedest every day to get that extra whole food based point. I want you to see what your body feels like on whole foods without the processed crap. But at the end of 6 weeks, some of y'all are gonna go, God, thank God that's over, and go back to eating my crap. You can. Or you make other choices, okay?
We eat with my in-laws once a week, and I've done this before where I bring my own food, but they ordered pizza sometimes on a Tuesday night, and I sit there with my Brussels sprouts and my fish, and
Okay.
do I say this is I want to enjoy a slice of pizza, let me eat my slice of pizza?
So, for 6 weeks, you might say, I'm really dedicated for this 6 weeks to my goals. And for 6 weeks, and at the end of the 6 weeks, you may decide that you can't live without something. You may decide that you can't live without your pizza with your in-laws once a week. So, get your protein, which is really important if you're an athlete. Get your protein and get a veggie in before you go, before you ever leave the house. And when you get there, decide. I'm only gonna have, I used a Super Bowl Sunday. Your Super Bowl Sunday with your friends, and you eat your food before you get there. And when you get there, put the pizza on your plate and fill the other half of your plate with the carrots and the celery and the rest of that stuff, and enjoy your food, okay? This is about creating something that's sustainable, okay? And if you decide that you can only ever do, if you set yourself up a stupid food rule, that I can only ever eat X, then at some point you're gonna go off this and you're gonna binge. And this is about asking yourself, does this line up with my goals? And can I make this happen? And can I do this? And can I keep doing this? So, it has to be sustainable, you guys, beyond the 6 weeks. And it'll give you guys some tools to get you through life after the 6 weeks. It's easy to do with the challenge when you're competing with people, and then when the competition's over with, you're out there flying solo. You need to make your goals more important than the food that you're putting in your mouth. You need to make those line up together. And you need to ask yourself, is this gonna get me to the goal I set for myself, okay? Anybody else got any questions? Any favorite places to eat? We need to rework your foods or anything else? Hannah.
I have a question. Usually I make my protein drinks with unsweetened almond milk. I use about 8 ounces of that twice a day. What would that be counted as?
Almond milk should be fat. I'd have to look at the macros on that. It should be a fat, because
Well, and I want to say this, and that's a different thing, but I have had this come up a bunch where people say, because one of the important things is especially if you're losing weight in this challenge, and it says that probably on the back of the, protein tub. I mix my protein, I put 1 scoop, and then I put enough water in there to cover the powder, shake it up into 1 quick sip, and it's done. You don't have to mix an entire glass of that stuff. First
Well,
off,
I
it tastes
like
like
to make it into my
Yeah.
coffee. I like to make it into my coffee. Like I make my own creamer with the almond milk and 2 scoops of protein powder, lean whey, and then I fill the rest of it up with coffee. That's usually what I do for breakfast.
Yeah,
So-
and if you enjoy that,
Well, I'm wondering if I should cut out the almond milk or watch
Yeah,
it
that's a good
because I don't know what that's.
We can
what
look the
that is.
macros on that, but I'm almost positive it probably doesn't have the unsweetened version, probably doesn't have enough macros for it to matter one way or the other. You're using it to get your protein in,
Yeah.
which is going to be a biggie and probably the most important one to get in. There are also other ways, that's part of what I was talking about earlier, if you're eating all these plates and you're thinking, I can't get this food in. There are ways to restructure that, specifically with your protein. There are, drinks and shakes and things that don't have a lot of liquid to them that you can use to get your protein in. So it doesn't always have to be the 4 or 6 ounce piece of chicken. We get tired of eating chicken sometimes, and sometimes it's just not possible to transport that kind of stuff. So there are other options and other alternatives out there when we're talking about protein.
Do you have a suggested list?
Of alternatives. I have 2
Post
drinks that I use. So they are, of course, when we're talking about this, they're not considered whole foods. But IsoPure makes a protein drink. It has 40 grams of protein in the bottle. It's like drinking Kool-Aid. It does leave an odd aftertaste in your mouth. And Premier Protein, and Walmart makes a generic version of that. And they are little containers, almost like a milkshake drink,
I like those.
where you can shoot your protein back. And those are really good options for getting your protein in. So I would prefer that your protein came from the whole foods, and we do
Right.
that. But sometimes at the end of the day, and especially at the end of the 6 weeks, you may decide that you need something else to get your protein in.
let me say something about drinking your calories. I've seen people fall into this trap a lot when they're trying to lose weight. And it's usually women. So, making a smoothie. So putting a lot of otherwise great things, fruit and maybe spinach and all this stuff, and blending it up into a smoothie. And there's tons of nutrition. However, one of the benefits, especially with vegetables, eating cruciferous, rough-edged vegetables, is that your body can't break it down very quickly.
Right.
And so it goes into your system, it's a healthy carbohydrate, and it takes your body a long time to break it down. So you get a very small insulin reaction. Anytime you take carbohydrates in, it spikes your blood sugar, and your body reacts with insulin. And that's a big culprit for fat gain. You take those otherwise great broccoli, spinach, pepper, tomato, banana, whatever smoothie with gross stuff in it, and then you grind it into a smoothie and drink it, and now all of a sudden you're drinking a gigantic sugar bomb, right? Because you've taken your body's job away from it. It now goes into your system and gets digested much quicker and has a much bigger insulin reaction inside your system. Now, I'm not telling you a smoothie is always bad for you, but we have had this happen with personal nutrition coaching clients where they are taking a lot of smoothies in and they're just not losing the weight just because they're driving their insulin all day long. And we get them off of it and all of a sudden the problem goes away. So don't, as a general rule, replace your whole foods, like you said, with liquid calories.
Right.
There's usually a better option.
Yep.
And some people want to juice their vegetables. If you juice your vegetables, you've just lost the biggest benefit of the vegetable.
Yeah.
Because when you juice, you shed all that skin and that roughage and all that your body needs. Let's don't juice, people. Okay? Anything else?
If it's weird, you probably shouldn't.
What about Panda Express?
Oh, we had a discussion earlier about Panda Express. Panda Express is a great place, someplace I probably stop once a week. I do rotate between white rice and fried rice. It really depends on where I'm going. I like the teriyaki chicken, the grilled chicken. I like to blot off my teriyaki chicken when I get it home, and I like to do my own saucing of teriyaki chicken. But there are some really good grilled food choices on that menu, and it's like anywhere else. You have to ask yourself when you get to that counter, what's gonna get me to my goals? And if you don't know how that food's cooked, then ask them. They know. They
You don't
know.
have to get the teriyaki sauce. That teriyaki chicken is fantastic without the sauce.
I was
That's-
gonna say, a lot of places, if you take the time to ask, if they don't cook your food until you order, they'll tweak it for you. If you
Yes.
tell them not to put something like that on there.
Yes.
A lot of places will do that.
And something else about Panda too. let's talk about Panda's a little bit of a value thing for me. You can order the small plate at the Panda and eat it. You can order the bigger plate. The biggest plate they got is a triple shot of protein with a single serving of something else. So, and I take mine home and I immediately divide it up. Immediately. And I get more meals out of it than just one. So,
Bear in mind, the fried rice, one serving of fried rice at Panda Express is nearly 600 calories. Alright, so and if you, instead of getting fried rice, you get the vegetables like 40 calories. Right now, and so that may be too extreme for you, I don't know. Maybe you need more carbs than that, some people do. Sometimes you can split it, you say, I want half vegetable, half rice. Well, now, instead of 500 and something calories, you probably got about 250 or so. And you gotta be careful with the carbs. Some of those choices in that window are really good and some are not as good. Depends on how it's cooked.
yes.
The dry rubs and seasoning stuff is gonna be better than your regular sauces.
Yes, yes. You can get barbecue sauce without sugar. You can get spaghetti sauces without additional sugar. And you can read the ingredients on the labels. I'm using one now that's not very expensive. It's new. It's one of the, I can't remember who it is, but it's one of the bigger name brands. And when you flip it over and read it, it doesn't have anything in it except tomatoes and salt and, you know, things like that. There's no additional sugar or anything in that.
So
So
we're going to add that to our meals.
read your labels. Read your labels. Just remember that sauce is a carb, and we're into liquids. Okay, so keep that in mind.
Need flavor, yellow mustard. If you need it.
Flavored yellow mustard.
If you need flavor, I use yellow mustard. I'll put it in tuna, I'll put it on eggs. If I need sauce, I'm a sauce guy and I'll cut it out.
And this is part of the advantage of asking your questions on the Facebook page and sharing a Facebook page with the Huntsville Gym, is that we collectively are gonna get a whole lot more information, a whole lot more suggestions. If you're having some great success or you figured out something, post it on the Facebook page. But if you binge, do not post me a ha-ha, screw it, I had 50 pieces of pizza tonight, I lost my point, whatever. Don't post it. Because what you've done is you've encouraged somebody else to screw it too. And we don't encourage people around here to give up on their goals or anything else. We are a support group. So if you're having great success, put it out there, share it, help somebody else get there. If you're having a moment and you have a cry for help, put that out there too. Guys, I'm having a moment. Can you talk me off the ledge? We'll talk you off the ledge, okay? But don't, if you've already gone off the bender, don't post it on there. Don't post me a picture of your 6 beers and shoot me a bird saying, there goes my point. I don't want to hear about it. Nobody else does either.
Another question.
Yes.
Can you explain the alcohol point? Like, am I logging a point on Friday and Saturday when I drink the alcohol, or your point for? I don't understand the point for alcohol.
You get your point on Monday for not drinking any alcohol.
Gotcha. For
Point.
not drinking it. Okay.
On Friday or Saturday, if you don't drink any alcohol, you get your point.
Bonus. Okay.
If you
Gotcha.
only drink 1 drink on Friday or Saturday, you get your point. If you drink 2 drinks on Friday, I'm sorry, you don't get your point. Don't lie.
You can't do 2 drinks on Friday and none on Saturday.
No, you cannot. No, I'm sorry.
Okay. I don't.
Yes.
I wonder how that, am I putting a point in everything?
Yeah, I've taken more crap over the alcohol thing than I have on any other thing. People are less scared of trying to do this with Whole Foods than they are to try to do this without alcohol. And I will promise you're gonna feel better. You are.
It's the cheese.
Yeah, I can do that, great, I just the cheese.
It's okay.
I quit drinking, I take meth now, so.
Give me one to drink no matter what, right?
Yeah,
Good.
he gave it
Oh, I'm trying to get.
I give a drink for meth.
The more meth, that's a point every day, every time you take meth.
Yep.
I went to the
secret
doctor
point.
yesterday and he told me I was on meth. I tested positive for meth, so that's the whole joke.
Yeah, the last time I was in the ER, they also told me I was pregnant, and I told them they better hunt down who was actually pregnant in the ER because I promised them it wouldn't. I know how you get pregnant. Yes, I do.
It didn't happen.
Thomas is starting his weight cut.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Oh, other question.
Yes,
Good
Absolutely,
pre-workout.
sorry.
that's okay.
The thumb of fat, if we use it to cook, that's what we count it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Making sure.
So if you're in an air fryer and you're throwing your piece of chicken in the air fryer and you basting it with olive oil, then pour your thumb of fat out, use that little to baste with, and go like that.
Okay.
If you're shaking your potatoes up in it to make fries in the air fryer, then there's your thumb of fat, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Just making
So
sure.
there are ways to get your French fries and your things in and make them healthier than getting them at McDonald's, okay? Yes.
One of the things I struggle with is not so much the eating of it, it's the taste of it. It's
Uh-huh.
like my body goes through the cravings to taste certain things. Even when I am eating right, you know, eating the chicken right and all this, like what he's talking about, a sauce guy, is that I crave a taste. You know, like
Yes.
for me, hot wings, I love hot wings.
Mhm.
And so, not breaded ones, you know, but
Just grill.
or that or smoke or whatever, but the sauce, I mean, I'm talking about bathed in sauce because.
Buffalo sauce isn't,
Yeah, there's
most buffalo sauces aren't bad, there's no carbs.
Right. Yeah, read the ingredients on your hot sauce or your
Yeah.
buffalo sauce. And if your ingredients start with the word sugar or
Yeah.
high fructose corn syrup,
Yeah.
then pass it off and find a hot
Right.
sauce that doesn't.
Okay.
So, and the cleaner your hot sauce is, the more of it,
Right,
you know, but, and try it, and try cutting back.
right.
If you're bathing it in something, like some people
Yeah.
some people eat more dressing than they eat salad,
Yeah.
then start trying to dial that stuff back
Right.
down until you get it to an acceptable level.
Right.
Because that's the only way, if that's your thing,
Yeah.
then that's the only way you're gonna be successful. Then we have to figure out how to make that happen in your everyday life, in moderation, so that you stay successful past the 6 weeks.
So that's what I'm saying, right now, I've already been, eating clean and eating right.
Mhm.
And so I've lost 30 pounds in the last 3 months, all right? But I crave taste, not so much that I crave the cheese, I just crave the taste of it because it's been taken away so much that I try to add a little. Now I found myself since Thanksgiving to where some of those things that I've craved, that I gotta have that. And I don't have to have a bunch of it once I get it, I just need the taste of it.
Yeah,
You can just chew it up and spit it out.
Well, no, there's a coach in Georgia, a football coach, and here's what he does, he eats ice cream and then spits it out. But, I mean, that's the struggle that I find, it's not so much that it's the feeling of eating full,
right.
it's the taste of certain foods
Right.
that
If that's not-
really pull.
That's all, I mean, I'm the same
Yeah.
way.
Yep.
A lot
Yeah,
of
but you
it,
didn't weigh 256 pounds.
Well,
for example, a lot of it you can, I'm telling you, social media can be the devil or the best thing in the world, because you follow every page, everything that you can find that's any kind of clean eating, because it may be recipes, but something that Tracy's taught me, because I am a cheese freak, I love cheese, that like when I make my taco salad, instead of putting all this cheese in my turkey meat, Laughing Cow cheese, take the little wedges and melt it in with my meat, and I'm still getting the cheese, and it's way better for me than
So that's
putting my
what
regular
I
cheese
am
in.
excited about this, is the fact that I'm gonna hear different ways to meet those cravings, or those tastes I want, and not have to destroy what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Right,
I'll
and
read.
see that, the Facebook page is gonna be a really good resource with that, because Tommy's gonna post on the Facebook page, guys, I'm craving X. How do I do this, and how do I do it well?
And even though we're competing against each other, we have to be willing to say, you know what, this is what I made last night, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and to get somebody else's take on it, because, like she said, somebody out there is likely struggling with the same thing that you're struggling with. It's just a matter of finding a tweaked version of it that, you know what, that's really good, and.
We've created some fantastic athletes. Between these two gyms, we have fantastic athletes of all kinds. We have athletes that run, we have athletes that are great CrossFit athletes, great weightlifting athletes, great powerlifting athletes. We have all kind of fantastic athletes. We need to work on creating some fantastic nutrition athletes. And nutrition almost is a sport itself, okay? And you can't outwork bad nutrition. You can be the best athlete in the world, and you cannot outwork bad nutrition. I participated with WAG, Working Against Gravity, probably for about 90 weeks. It was a long time. AD, who owns WAG, is married to the guy who owns Brute Strength. And collectively, they serve some of the fittest CrossFit athletes there are. Brooke Ince, Camille, several of the top-notch guys. And they have taken those guys in the last 12 months. They started dialing these big-name athletes in at the last games. And these athletes talk about how much better they feel, how much better they're doing with this nutrition. So there's no reason that you guys can't do it too. No reason. Okay?
You may have said something about this already while I walked out. One thing that I love about the Facebook groups when we've done these in the past, if you cook a meal and it turns out really good, share the recipe.
That's what we were just talking about.
Yes.
But here, what you have seen in the past, people get overzealous about to share everything they cook. Well, I don't believe everything you cook is good.
Yeah.
Don't share it unless, if I try it and it's horrible, I'm coming after you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But the opposite, so, and like, if you're at the store and you find a great, like, if you find a great wing sauce or something,
Right.
you try it and say, look, hey, go get this wing sauce. And the opposite can happen, if you're looking for a wing sauce, just say, hey, guys, I'm addicted to wings.
Yeah.
Anybody got a suggestion? That stuff is invaluable to me, too,
Yeah.
to see that kind of stuff.
Anybody in here addicted to spaghetti? Anybody in here loves spaghetti and pasta? I found in the Whole Foods store when I was in Baltimore, I was just cruising around, and I had heard on one of my Facebook pages about this black bean pasta. And I thought, ain't no way, dude, ain't no way. Well, it exists. There's one ingredient in my pasta, and it's organic black beans. And I cook it, and I put sauce on it, and other than the fact that it's black, my kids can't tell the difference.
Is it really black?
It's good, and it's freaking fantastic, y'all. And the macros on it are great, great. Hannah.
So I shop pretty healthy. What breaks me is us stopping and getting fast food here and there because we love Taco Bell. But in the freezer section of Kroger, they have a new section that's popped up recently because I like to just see what's new coming out. And they've got like cauliflower mashed potatoes. They've got spiralized frozen zucchini that you just pop in the microwave and cook. And they have zucchini-based pasta that is in a steamer bag that you put in the microwave for 90 seconds. And all it is zucchini. It's got like some cornstarch in it and salt, and that's all it is.
Let me say something about cauliflower. It is the most awful food in the world. Don't eat it. I just like it.
Don't tell them on nutrition.
But
I'm just kidding. If you like it, go ahead.
if you're having difficulty getting full, cauliflower is fantastic for that. And as a weight class athlete, I'm not talking about this challenge for you guys. As a weight class athlete, sometimes I have to dial out. I usually sit 4 or 5 pounds outside my weight class. Sometimes to dial that down, you go into a little bit of a cut, cauliflower is great for that. Cauliflower is great. If you mash it up, it is the closest thing to mashed potatoes that you're gonna get. And if you put a little salt and a little grass-fed butter on it, it's fantastic. It's another one of those foods that my kids can't tell the difference in. You can't. If you do it right, you can't tell the
Well,
difference.
and it'll help you lose weight because you'll vomit.
Yeah, you're wrong.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
Rice cauliflower is my new favorite thing.
I don't like it riced. I don't even want it riced. I want it, I'll take a steamer bag and I will double the time and I will lay it on the counter at work and they laugh at me and I'll take a mallet and I will mash the whole freaking crap out of that stuff and then dump it right on out, put some Laughing Cow cheese. If y'all have never had Laughing Cow cheese and mashed cauliflower, you do not know what you're missing because it's the bomb.
We'll put the recipe up. We'll give it a whirl.
Yeah.
It's great. I promise.
Hey, Green John makes the, big cauliflower pizza crust now, it's just plain and you put your own stuff in it, not bad.
Mhm.
She's still warming up to it, but it's really not bad. The texture's different.
Right.
You know, so once you get past, if you don't have a texture issue, once you can kind of get past
Right.
that, it's good.
And Amy was telling me that Kroger does, you know, all grocery stores do rotisserie chicken. Well, Kroger's doing turkey breast.
Yes.
They don't always have it out, but you can pre-order it. So you can ask for it and they'll cook it, you can pick it up the next day. So, there are all kind of options out there and collectively amongst ourselves, we all have superior nutrition knowledge when we pack it all together, okay? You guys are just gonna have to decide that your goals are more important than food. You have to. Anybody else got anything else? It's early, isn't it, y'all? All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
This is gonna be fun.
Do we need, what do we do about numbers? Are we sending those to you now, or are we waiting at the end?
I want the comparison at the end. At the end, you'll be able to,
The wings and like.
log in to Fit3D, and you'll be able to check X-scan and hit compare. It's probably not gonna be quite that easy, but you will, and it'll spit you out a report. So what you wanna compare is the 6 weeks from 6 weeks. I have scans in there that are from 2016, 2017, and I could probably actually compare 2016 and 2019. So, that's one good thing about consistency. Using your, the same email address is it doesn't matter what piece of equipment they use, your reports are always gonna connect to one other one.
What are we supposed to, so we don't make a mistake, what are we supposed to send to you?